Ma'am, in jail, your name, please.
UCC 1-308, all rights reserved. I do not wish to bear any titles at this time. I believe this honorable judge, with respect to the supremacy clause of the United States of America and stare decisis, will allow me to leave without any demand.
Improper lane use, following too closely. You were doing all this with a trailer and no insurance?
Yeah, I'm a professional driver. I have the right to travel. Speeding, and that is a...
Yeah, well, you're lucky you didn't get a reckless driving, sir. This was enough factors here that you could have got a criminal case instead of just...
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I apologize, but this is the same thing I go through every time
Today, we have a double dose of SovCit antics, all taking place in Judge Norbeck's courtroom. First up is a sovereign woman who refuses to acknowledge her legal name, instead diving headfirst into a stream of UCC gibberish and classic SovCit rhetoric. Judge Norbeck, clearly unimpressed and eager to keep things moving, shuts down her nonsense right away. His only goal is to grant her bond and move on with the day's docket, but it quickly becomes apparent that she's her own worst enemy. Will her stubborn refusal to cooperate keep her behind bars, or can she manage to get out of her own way to secure release? Stay tuned to find out. The second case involves a repeat offender named Hunter, who appears via Zoom from the same pickup truck he used to rack up his various traffic violations. Despite being cited for driving without insurance and towing a trailer recklessly, Hunter believes his right to travel grants him immunity from the law. Now let's see what Judge Norbeck has to say about that.
Mr. Safi, I don't know if you got a chance to send over your appearances. I don't think we had them last time we checked.
I did just send one over for Miss Westbrook.
I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
All right, in jail there.
Miss Bates wished to represent herself.
Okay. Ma'am, in jail, your name, please.
UCC 1-308, all rights reserved. I do not wish to bear any titles at this time. I believe this honorable judge, with respect to the supremacy clause of the United States of America and stare decisis, will allow me to leave without any demands being placed upon me.
Okay, that's fine. You're a sovereign citizen. That's on the record. Doesn't really mean anything. So I have to read this at you, ma'am. So please, you're going to be quiet while I read this at you. Okay. This says on June 1st of 2024 on East Allegan Street there, City of Otsego, you have the misdemeanor for a trespass. That's punishable by up to 30 days in jail and or $100 in fines and costs. Other than that, you also have looks like this would be a city ordinance for hinder or oppose a police officer. I do not know what that's punishable for, but I'm assuming it's the same as R&O as a misdemeanor, punishable by up to 90 days and or $500 fines and costs. Do you understand your charges?
I do not. I object.
All right, that's fine. All I need, ma'am, all those things, ma'am, stop talking.
Do I have an opportunity to speak as per my First Amendment, Your Honor?
No, you don't, ma'am. Because all the things that you're saying, they don't mean anything legally. So we're almost done with your arraignment. So the supremacy clause doesn't mean anything to you? I'm going to enter you.
1803?
No, ma'am. That means nothing under the legal rules of court. It's something you read on the internet, and it doesn't pertain to your arraignment at all.
Stare decisis 1803.
Ma'am, I'm quite familiar with Marbury versus Madison means, and it has no application here to your criminal arraignment. So,
Marbury versus Madison was a landmark decision of the U.S. Supreme Court that established the principle of judicial review, meaning that American courts have the power to strike down laws and statutes they find to violate the Constitution. Decided in 1803, it established that the U.S. Constitution is actual law, not just a statement of political principles and ideals. Marbury versus Madison directly opposes the sovereign citizen belief that individuals can unilaterally decide which laws apply to them. Sovereign citizens often misinterpret or misuse legal principles to try and justify their stance, but Marbury versus Madison does not and cannot support their legal arguments. In fact, it reinforces the opposite, since the judiciary has the ultimate authority in interpreting laws, not individual citizens.
So
I
I'm
would
gonna mark
like
you
to
down as
point
not
towards
guilty.
procedure
Ma'am,
and substantive
if you don't
process,
stop
please.
talking, I'm gonna have you found in contempt and you won't get arraigned today and you'll sit in jail a whole nother day till we try arraignment tomorrow. Would you like to do that? Or do you want me to finish up here and now?
I would
You
like
can
to
pick.
say one more thing, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
If I cannot be granted just relief today, I would request a PR bond, seeing I have a job to attend and make $13 per hour and only work 20 to 30 hours per week. I did just get
Ma'am.
another job that I need to
Ma'am.
attend, and my animals,
Ma'am,
an animal's life
rather
is
than
in
me
danger.
listening to you ramble on, I am planning on giving you a PR bond, all right? Is there anything else you'd like to say?
That I'm just trying to assert my rights and I'm not a sovereign citizen.
Okay, so I'm gonna mark you down as not guilty. We'll set you down for a trial, jury trial. You're gonna be your own counsel, is that correct? You wish to represent yourself as opposed to have the public defender appointed?
As per the Sixth Amendment, I would like to represent myself, but I am not agreeing with anything else that you just said
All right,
at this time.
Okay. Here's what the difference is. I give you a PR bond, you don't have to wait in jail in between your court dates, all right? But that's because you're telling me you are gonna appear for your court dates, right?
I completely comprehend what a PR bond is.
What I'm asking you is point blank question on the record, because if you say yes, you're planning on coming to your court dates, I'm gonna give you a PR bar and you won't be sitting in jail. But if you say anything other than yes, you're planning on appearing for your court dates, like if you say you don't think you have to come to court dates because it doesn't apply to you or something like that, then I'm not gonna give you a PR bond and you will sit in jail until that day. So it's a simple question. Do you plan on coming back to court on your court dates?
I plan on coming to court. I do not know about transportation or anything of such, so I will request it to be by Zoom as of right now. And I would again like to reiterate my assertion of my constitutional rights, all of them inalienable, unalienable, and UCC 1-308.
All right, so it probably is by Zoom since these are just misdemeanors for your pretrial. So I'm gonna give you a $500 PR bond, which means you won't have to sit in jail in between those court dates. Other than that, you're all set, all right? We've entered a plea of not guilty on your behalf, since I don't think you wish to enter a plea. You will get a next court date before you leave, but if they do have to mail something out to you, is North Edwards a good address for you?
It is not. I currently do not have a mailing address. I really don't have a mailing address, Your Honor.
All right.
I am living below poverty.
Okay, I'm gonna let you not have a mailing address, but that means before you leave jail, you need to know when that next court date is, because the onus is on you to appear for court. You understand that? In other words, let me explain something to you real simple, right? Your next court date will likely be just Zoom because these are misdemeanors. But if you don't appear for court, your PR bond will go away and then you'll have a cash surety bond and a warrant out for your arrest. That's what I mean by I don't want to, we can leave here with very different opinions about what's going on, but I just want to be sure that you understand there would be a consequence for you if you just didn't show up next time. Right? That makes sense to you?
Thanks for explaining further. Would it be better if I gave an email address?
You know what? That counts because we could email you if something were to change. Go.com.
Reserved. RESERVED.
Okay, we wrote that down. But like I said, before you even leave jail, they should hand you a piece of paper that has your next court date with the Zoom instructions on it. All right?
Brilliant.
All right, you're all set.
Judge, I'm asserting my rights. People get angry.
This guy here. How you doing today?
Good afternoon, sir.
I'm a little beat up. My name is Patrick Rouse.
All right. Mr. Rouse, this is a misdemeanor file 242146OM. I'm going to read it to you.
Okay.
It says that on or about May 22nd of this year, in the city of Allegan, that you were disturbing the peace. That is a misdemeanor. It's punishable by up to 90 days in jail and or $300 fines and costs. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, I do.
And do you wish to
Yep,
enter a plea of guilty?
I can plead not guilty. I can plead not guilty and request a PR bond.
Yes, you can, sir. So I'm going to enter that as a not guilty. Public defender is not making an appearance on this.
Your Honor, I did speak with Mr. Rouse, and we, based on him being incarcerated, would appoint an attorney. I just had not received paperwork and was unable to review the charges with him.
So, sir, would you want the public defender to represent you on this, or do you wish to represent yourself, or do you wish to hire your own attorney?
Yes, sir. I would like a public defender.
All right. They might have some paperwork for you to fill out, but I'm going to put on here that I expect that may be granted. We'll enter a not guilty plea. We'll set this for a jury trial. I am going to give you a PR bond, sir. That means you're not going to be sitting in jail. They're going to let you out of jail, but that is, of course, you're telling me you understand the importance of making sure you're back to court, right, on your next court date.
Oh, absolutely. I will be here. I don't skip out any of these things.
Do you get mail Trowbridge Street? Is that a good address for you?
Yes, sir.
All right, then you are all set, sir.
Right.
This is your,
Okay.
all right, Hunter, what's your last name?
Heidemann.
All right, I do need you to take your hat off, though. We are in court.
Yes, sir. Sorry about that.
That's all right. All right, gentlemen, this is a citation that was issued on April 25th of this year on I-196 there in Ganges Township. It's a citation, 2 citations, careless driving and no proof of insurance. I no longer have no proof of insurance, so you must have taken care of that. We're only here on the moving violation. On this moving violation, Mr. Heidemann, you need to do one of 3 things. First is you could admit responsibility to the citation, or 2, admit responsibility, but you'd like to provide some sort of explanation as to how or why that happened. Or 3, you wish to contest the citation, in other words, fight the ticket at what we call informal hearing. What were you looking to do?
I'm looking to fight the ticket.
All right. Then the first thing I'm going to do is swear you both in.
Informal hearing.
You raise your right hand. Mr. Heidemann, raise your right hand. Swear or affirm any testimony you give here today would be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Heidemann, it makes a lot more sense for me to start with the deputy. He has the burden to establish to me why you were issued a citation in the first place. But after that, you'll have an opportunity to either ask questions or testify in your own behalf. All right?
If that's how it works, okay.
Deputy, you want to pick up the narrative somewhere where it makes sense? Explain the issuing of this citation.
Yes, sir. So on April 25th, 2024, I was patrolling the area of Ganges Township and Casco Township. I was notified by another deputy on 1916 hours that he was unable to flip around on a vehicle that was speeding on the highway. The deputy advised me that the vehicle was traveling northbound from mile marker 22 at a high rate of speed. At this time, I then was able to position my vehicle on northbound 130, or check that, I'm sorry, on I-196 near the 3-1 mile marker and observed the vehicle identified as a 2014 Chevy pickup truck, silver in color, traveling in the left-hand lane. I then activated my moving front radar and observed reading of 98 miles per hour steady in the left-hand lane on the 2014 silver Chevy pickup truck. The vehicle was cutting in between other vehicles as it was attempting to pass them, passing vehicles on the right as well as cutting into the left lane, tailgating other vehicles, trying to get around them. I continued to follow the vehicle as it continued to travel at 98 miles per hour and it posted in 70 mile per hour zone near the mile marker of the 31 in Ganges Township. I then was able to conduct a traffic stop in a marked patrol vehicle with overhead lights activated on the 2014 Chevy pickup truck. The vehicle did yield to my emergency lights on northbound I-196 and made contact with the driver. The driver advised that he was traveling back to his residence in Grant. He advised that he did not have any insurance during the time of the stop, and I also indicated the reason for the stop. The driver stated that he was just trying to get back home. I provided him with citation number SD 28066 for the careless driving, as well as the no proof of insurance.
All right, Mr. Heidemann, what is it you'd like to tell me?
So all I am wondering is, he says I was traveling at 98 miles an hour, except at the scene of the whole, when it all came to fruition, I asked him how fast I was traveling, because I wasn't really aware. Yes, I passed a couple cars that were traveling in the left lane. I did pass them on the right. I'll admit to that. But he couldn't give me a speed on how fast I was traveling and speeding, but I'm telling you, I wasn't going 98 miles an hour. So that's why I wanted to fight this ticket. My truck doesn't go 98 miles an hour. I could bring it to you guys and you can test it, whatever. My truck don't go 98 miles an hour.
All right.
So
Well,
that's why I wanted to fight this thing down.
We'll go back to
Couldn't
the
give me a
deputy
speed
and
on
have
how
him,
fast I was going.
have him articulate how he acquired that number. Deputy Early, you want to put a little
Okay.
more meat on the bone about how you came up with that number?
Yep. So originally I witnessed the vehicle. Again, it was that 2014 Chevy pickup truck. It was actually towing a trailer in the left-hand lane. I observed the vehicle passing other vehicles. At the time, I then activated my front moving radar and observed readings of 98 miles.
All right.
Multiple.
And
Oh, good.
so that was on your front moving radar. Let
yes,
me
sir.
just cycle you through some questions. Did it tone out as well?
Yes, sir.
Did that tone match the number you were seeing?
Yes, sir.
Had you tested that radar at beginning and end of your shift?
Yes, sir.
This is the same thing I go through every time. Every single
Okay,
time.
your separately calibrated speedometer?
Yes, sir.
I have the right to
Did you
travel
have
and I
any
have the
issues
right.
with it at the beginning or after the shift? Mr. Heidemann, I'm asking questions. You're being quiet now. That's how this works. Deputy, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Beginning and after your shift, were there any issues with the radar?
No, sir.
All right. And are you certified to operate that radar?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I will tell you this, Mr. Heidemann, just so you sort of understand how it got to careless. He could have wrote you a speeding citation for 28 over, which is as many points as you'd get for careless anyway. But then he did not write you separate citations for either improper lane use, following too closely. You were doing all this with a trailer and no insurance?
Yeah, I'm a professional driver. I have the right to travel. The speeding, and that is a
you're lucky you didn't get a reckless driving, sir. This
Okay.
was enough factors here that you could have got a criminal case instead of just.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I apologize, but this is the same thing I go through every time I've ever dealt with a ticket. Is you got a list you got to read off, and the deputy gets to say his part, and I'm guilty until proven innocent by my part. So this country isn't ran the way it used to be. I'll just take my ticket and we can go on from here. I don't want to waste your time.
All comments, viewpoints, interpretations, and insights expressed in this video are for education and entertainment purposes. All individuals featured in the video are to be presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Please do not attempt to contact, locate, or engage with any individuals featured in the video.